look giant in comparison to you. I don't
I
know.
was thinking that. Laura did in the thumbnail last night.
There we go.
Be-
Zooming out on just Sarah. Oh
um,
no, I'm blurry.
oh no. She's in her imagination the whole time. Laura was last night too, not because there was a problem with the seats or anything like that. She just like happened to be sitting up really close when the thumbnail went off. I miss posing for these thumbnails whenever we do these live. It asks you to pose for about 3 seconds so that it'll like have a thumbnail whenever it pops up. Those are always really, really fun to do, especially when the other person doesn't see it coming. I got a meatball sandwich. Damn it, I'm just full of... So I'm stuck in a jar of honey while we're reviewing this movie. I miss doing these lives. I'm glad my phone finally got fixed. We went to go see Disney's Christopher Robin.
Just making sure that no one's commenting on the noise being terrible.
It was fine last night, so if that were the case now, I'd be like, okay, there's just something wrong with this phone.
It's just me. It turns out it's me.
It turns out it's just the parking spot. I send it back in. I'm like, oh, the noise is all fucked up again. Like, wait a minute, are you parking over at Showplace 12? Yeah.
Oh, that's a hellmouth.
What? Why? It's a reviewing movies from Parkway from now on. So, Disney's Christopher Robin is playing there. Unless you look at the posters that are...
Posters for Goodbye Christopher Robin, which is a different movie.
That is a different film. That is a movie I don't even know if it came to Springfield.
I don't remember any of us seeing it.
We didn't, because I really wanted to go see that movie, but I don't think it came to Springfield. And so Irving and I...
I think it must have if they've got the poster.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because I've seen it before where they've advertised different posters in there, and it was just something that never made it to Springfield. So last night I noticed it. I was walking by and I go, ooh, that's a cool poster. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember. Donald Gleason is in this movie? Oh, wait a minute, that's Goodbye Christopher Robin. And at first I was like, oh, is that finally coming to Springfield now? All these months later, they were just waiting for this movie to come out?
Jumping on the Christopher Robin gravy train.
Way better poster than that Darkest Minds poster. Not the Darkest Minds poster you were looking at. There's another one on the other side that, man, you gotta look up this fucking poster, man, because it makes it look like the latest hip indie prog group of 1996. Like, that's the best way that I can describe it.
Okay.
Just look it up. You'll know it right away when you fucking see it. Like, ooh.
I feel like most YA sci-fi movie posters look like that.
No, this is different.
Everyone like standing and looking off in different directions.
No. This makes it look like it's like a Tony Hawk skateboarder video game on the PS1. Like, this will make sense once you see this poster. Okay. Like, it's like, well, they are trying to hip as shit this movie poster.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway, so this is number 3 of the 5 movies that I gotta go see that's out now. We went to go see Disney's Christopher Robin, which is the live action Winnie the Pooh movie, in which Christopher Robin is now older. He's got a shitty job. He's too obsessed with work. He's ignoring his family. Hook. Thank you very much.
It's Hook, except with Christopher Robin.
It is Hook with Christopher Robin.
And no Julia Roberts having a mental breakdown.
No, there's not that. There's no Boo Box. There's no imaginary food fight or anything like that. But
there's an imaginary heffalump fight.
There is that, and there is a character who said he's lost his marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, that's in this movie.
Playing Mark Gatiss again.
So it's that same arc again. Like, he's too obsessed with work, and like his family's mad at him. They're going away for the weekend. They go to this cottage for the weekend, but he's got to stay behind because they're
adulthood.
Yeah, because adult. So he has to try to save a bunch of people's job at a luggage company,
Not even that. He's got to figure out who to fire because they told him that
Well,
he's got to cut costs by 20%, and they gave him a list of people that he could fire to get that accomplished. And so he
yeah.
managed to cut costs in some areas. I was paying more attention than I probably ought to have been to like how is he gonna save 20% costs? And he had his list of names and he'd crossed off a couple people and like save money on like materials over here.
We were probably having an easier time following the plot line about the layoffs and the luggage manufacturing company than the kids in the audience probably were.
And there was at the beginning where it was like Christopher Robin right before he goes away to boarding school as a child, and he's like kind of having adventures with Pooh and company, and there's like a heffalump, and he's got like a blah, and this kid over in like this direction in the audience goes ah, and then you can hear like maybe his older sister go, "It's okay, it's just a dream."
It's just
It's like, no, it's a flashback, man.
Yeah.
It's a flashback.
It's a flashback.
But they were pretty well behaved, I thought. Like, there was, like, some moments of boisterousness, but it was a kid's movie, you know. I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, shut up."
No, last night there were kids running up and down the stairs at Darkest Minds, and I was not annoyed in the slightest. I understood why anyone would be goddamn antsy at that fucking movie. So I completely understood why that was the case. And it was pretty crowded in there, but. So eventually Pooh shows up outside of the 100-acre woods, and there's also a plot line too that I just realized didn't get resolved. What about the guy who was wanting to play gin rummy with him the whole time?
I don't know what the fuck that guy's problem was.
Yeah, there's
like there's like a next door neighbor who's like, "Hey, I don't mean to keep nagging on you, but you're supposed to play gin rummy with me," and he kept like just popping up out of the bushes like, "Ha, gin rummy."
He was the Disney version of the neighbor. I know you didn't see this. The neighbor from Game Night with Jason Bateman, where creepy neighbor kept showing up out of the shadows wanting to play Game Night with him. Although that movie had a hell of a goddamn payoff. This one, I just realized this. I was like, oh yeah, like. That guy's still waiting for all of them to fucking play gin rummy with him.
Yeah, him and his poor wife Edna.
That poor dude.
Or whatever. But, like, for me, I think he was sort of serving a twofold purpose. In that, first of all, he was there to make Christopher Robin go to that park so he could find Pooh that one time.
Yeah.
But then also, I think it was started to be like, well, this is what adults do for fun. You want to come do what adults do for fun? And Christopher was like, no fun ever.
Mm-hmm. It was, I mean, it certainly had setup, but... I was at least expecting some kind of payoff, like towards the end, like, is it finally going to play cards with this guy? But no, so the characters end up showing up, and little by little throughout the course of the movie, he
goes and flies a kite.
Yeah, he goes and flies a kite. He makes good with his family, his job, and everything. And it's a very, very cute movie. Mm-hmm. It is. It's an uplifting film. You've seen this kind of movie before.
Yeah, you saw Hook.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen
and I say that
Hook,
loving Hook. This movie was very good, but it was just Hook again.
It was. It was. The character is now much older.
Or Mary Poppins, I guess, to some extent.
Yeah, and the character is much, much, much older. He has to remember his youth. He has to like get his youth back, and then learn just kind of how to cut loose every now and then, and to not be quite so obsessed with just work all the time. You've seen it before, but the movie does have strengths in that it never talks down to its audience. Mm-hmm. It's never condescending. It never condescends to its audience. It's never this cynical modern cash grab just using these characters to put them in a movie where now they're kind of in the real world. It never does that. It still consistently has heart to it. It still has a good message, even though it's a message you've seen before. It still has that. The special effects are really good in this movie. Mm-hmm. And one-liners are thrown out, whether it's from Eeyore or the little things that Pooh says that are still good lines.
Yeah.
Like it does get the heart of these characters down. And because of this, I was picturing in my head the movie that this would be if like Raja Gosnell, the guy who directed the Smurfs, made this movie. Because the last act has certain things that happen in it. Not that it's ever going that direction, but they're coming into reality to get Christopher Robin's briefcase back to him, and the whole time I'm just picturing like, what would this fucking movie be like if this guy made this damn movie where they're going in the real world? Christopher Robin would be played by like fucking Rob Schneider and some shit, and there'd be a car chase, and it'd be like, the boys are back in town. So I'm watching
basically
this,
like the Peter Rabbit preview.
which was a really good movie. But yeah, the way that movie was advertised, that movie was way better than that was advertised. But yeah, kinda, yeah.
Like, oh, it's me, Peter Rabbit. Time for a rap break.
Thank God that never happens in that damn movie.
Like, there is an element of cynicism, but it's all just coming from Christopher Robin.
Oh, well, yeah, it's
not
yeah.
like the movie isn't being cynical. That character's just being super cynical, and it was to a point where I kind of didn't give a shit about him anymore.
Sure.
Because like I keep comparing to Hook, but like in Hook he's being too uptight and an adult, but you're never not rooting for him to figure it out and save his kids. But in this one, there's this part where he's just screaming at Winnie the Pooh and calling him an idiot, and it's like, you can go and fuck up, Christopher Robin. Yeah, fall down a pit. It's what you deserve. Talk to Winnie the Pooh like that.
Oh, now I've seen Stanley mess up Dave's work papers, and Dave goes, "You idiot."
Yeah, that's just Stanley. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't
Pooh
know.
Understood. He's like, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lose your papers." He's like, "Yeah, I bet you're sorry. You sorry fucking bear."
Well, he never went the full Willard that Crispin Glover did. Yeah, no, I mean, sure, when it got to that point in the movie, I was like, okay, I get the point. Like, I mean, who's gonna yell at this bear in the middle of the woods?
This is a legitimate thought. Is this the rest of the movie? Just him emotionally abusing
Screaming
Winnie the Pooh?
It could have been, because, I mean, Mark Forster directed this, and this is... I like this movie. It is a sweet movie. It's really kind of an impossible movie to hate, because it just has enough heart to it.
Pooh's little face is just so sweet.
Exactly. Like, the movie's just daring you to get mad at it. Like, you can't really. But it is... I was feeling tired through the movie, because it is a very dry film. And thank God it's not terribly long. It's like maybe about an hour and 40 minutes. So it is a very dry, soft-spoken movie, and it's also a very gloomy looking film.
Yeah, man. Like, everything is just brown in this movie.
It looks like a horror film.
Like the colors to pick up, like maybe like to signify his youthfulness returning. No, it just stays fucking brown. Tigger is brown in this movie.
Yeah.
I was confused by that, because his ass is supposed to be orange.
Oh no, totally. Like, yeah, it looks like this movie's shot like a Polanski film. And I appreciate that in the sense that it does differentiate itself from the Smurfs movie or the Mr. Popper's Penguins of the world and things like that. It maybe it goes a little too far in the direction to try to differentiate itself from that, but I at least appreciated that. I'm never expecting a fucking fart joke is gonna happen in this movie. Like, no, it is a movie that it's not talking down to kids. It is treating them like adults, and it very much is. And in doing so, it's shot like a fucking World War II movie.
Yeah. Like, I was crying at the beginning when it was it had this sequence where it was, here's Christopher Robin going away to boarding school, and he's getting like hit with the rulers and shit. Here's Christopher Robin's dad dying when he's like 8, and it's like him at a funeral. Here's Christopher Robin getting shot at in World War II, and his wife raising their 3-year-old all by herself. Here's Christopher Robin meeting his 4-year-old daughter for the first time.
Here's what you do with that scene. You take that scene, and then you put in Nicolas Cage's narration from the opening credits of Con Air.
Okay.
where he's writing to his daughter and everything.
Dearest Madeline.
Yeah. School is very important.
Can't get nothing for nothing.
No, I recommend the movie. I think that there's movies out that I had a better time at than this necessarily. Like Mission Impossible for one, and if we're talking kids movies, I had a really good time at the Teen Titans film. But it's perfectly serviceable. It's not a movie that I loved, but I was enjoying it as I was sitting there watching it. I was, again, appreciating that it's certainly being very respectful with this. It's not being a lowbrow or anything like that. And like there's even if this movie turned out to really be not good, it's like, how mad can I be at this movie in the same weekend where I gotta go see, like, yesterday I'm at fucking Darkest Minds and The Spy Who Dumped Me. I gotta go see Nazi propaganda on Sunday. Like, I'm really gonna get mad at this fucking movie.
Yeah, like all the problems I had with this movie were just like little trifling things, you know, like Tigger being brown and Piglet not sounding right. But it is a gorgeously shot movie, and like the animation is amazing. Generally, I'd say, you know, you can just wait and stream it, but I think this movie's worth seeing in theaters just so you can see all like the individual hairs that they animated on that goddamn teddy bear. Yeah, there's like and just little stuff, because like he's a stuffed animal, and so they've animated him in such a way that it does look like a talking stuffed animal. Yeah. But like stuff like his paws being slightly dirtier than the rest of him because he's like a well-loved stuffed animal, and when they're getting honey on him, it's congealing on his cloth fur and just the way you'd expect it to. So it was like technically excellent.
Oh, it was. I think you should maybe know whether or not your kid might get antsy in a movie like this.
Yeah, it is pretty slow.
Yeah, so bear that in mind before you go see it. But by and large, overall, yeah, it would at least be worth a matinee screening.
Yeah. My daughter would be bored to tears, but she doesn't. If no one's singing within 30 seconds, she's just off and running.
Sure, yeah. oh, Dave hates musicals. Oh.
Anymore, I'll catch him singing songs off of like Little Baby Bub. It's like a counting song. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's wait the day when he finally starts singing Fernando to himself.
Well, I haven't shown him Mamma Mia 2, but I'm buying it when we get it. So.
Hell yeah.
You want to do previews?
Yeah, totally.
So we got Dog Days again.
Yeah, that comes out next weekend.
I remembered who was in the preview that
Tig Notaro?
Yeah, it was Tig Notaro. She's playing like a dog psychiatrist.
That line got me in the movie. She had a good line in the film. It looks like what I said, where it's like it's just an ensemble film, like one of those. It looks.
I still have no idea what the plot is.
Well, I can kind of tell from it. Where like there's gonna be the plot line where the pizza guy helps the old guy find his dog. There's gonna be like.
The guy smuggled his dog into the apartment.
Yeah,
There's
and
like some sort of dog shelter.
He has a romance, it looks like.
Maybe Vanessa Hudgens?
Is that who that was?
Maybe.
Okay. Like it
I'm mad looks with these young people, but I think it's Vanessa Hudgens.
It looks like slightly better than like those Gary Marshall movies like New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day, but it's one of those movies, if I go see it and it turns out to be as bad as some of those, I'm not going to be surprised.
Seems about right. And there's like a little dog wearing like a little dog helmet, and like there's dogs watching TV. It doesn't look like it's going to be a brain stretch.
It's gonna look like something where even if I'm okay with it, I don't know if I could justify paying theater prices to go see Dog Days. But who knows? I could be very surprised.
Goosebumps 2, which I was listening this time. You're right, Jack Black is the dummy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think there was like a kind of a cliffhanger at the end of the last one, which is maybe why he's missing from just the teaser trailer here. It looks like the first one again. And the first one was fine. The first one's totally fine. This one,
I don't remember what the cliffhanger, because I watched the first one.
Because it had one of those like horror cliffhangers where he get sucked back into the book or something, or there's something that happens to him at the end of the movie, because like throughout the movie he's saying like, you need this, this, and this, and then the twist, and then something happens to him at the end of the first movie. I can't freaking remember what it was, but no, I'm sure it'll
well pan out.
Yeah, it'll work out.
Wonder Park. I don't know. I still think that if you're not playing like the plinky little music remake over this movie, it looks like some tripe bullshit. But I could just be.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's playing the emo trailer girl cover of What a Wonderful World in front of it. I'll say it looks like the 3D will probably be good.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Shit's just like flying at you.
yeah. There are a few theme park movies coming out this year, all of wildly different genres. There was Action Point with Johnny Knoxville, this movie, and then there's some horror movie one called like Hell Park or something like that, where it's a slasher movie.
I thought someone was talking about Action Point. Action Point?
Yeah.
On one of my podcasts, apparently it's an actual amusement park.
Yeah, Action
that's
Park.
Like terrifying, and they call it, like, the locals call it Traction Park.
Yeah.
Like the safety measures are substandard at best.
Look into that stuff. Like look into it. It's a fascinating read, and there's even some footage too. There's old like 80s footage of it. It really is like.
Well, they had like a water slide that has like a loop in it. And no one goes on it because they didn't test that shit.
Yeah,
they put a dummy down and it came out at the bottom with its head missing. They're like,
oh, people went on that shit when it was on. They do that in that Johnny Knoxville movie. They go down that thing, and my dumbass probably would too.
Like, they were talking about there's one water slide where like it goes into like a tunnel, and so you can't see where it comes out when you get into the top, and so when you don't realize when you get to the bottom you're like 12 feet above where the water's at. And like, people keep getting the exact same shoulder injury on this thing every single time.
Oh, so that's
like,
okay.
I want to go on that.
On the blue slide over at Knight's Action Park, I skin my elbow in the same spot every time I go down it.
Well, you guys actually like that toilet bowl one.
Oh, I love the toilet bowl.
You know ahead of time it's 10 feet fucking above the water.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
My favorite's the lazy river. You don't drop off of anything into anything. The house with a clock in the walls, which we've got already.
Looking forward to that. That looks like
it looks pretty good. Maybe.
I mean, maybe it is an Eli Roth film.
Oh, is it really?
It is, but I am really looking forward to this because every time I see one of his fucking movies, I'm like, well, this is just a fucking movie written by a child. This, I'm like, okay, well, maybe a kid's movie will really suit him.
We've solved the riddle.
Yeah, finally, after all these years.
Most of that preview, like, I really enjoy, and it seems like a sort of movie I'd like, but then there's, like, that weird little exchange that him and Cate Blanchett have, where he's all like, oh, yeah, you're an old lady, you old fucking lady, and she's like...
he is a crotchety man living in a house.
It's just weird and mean, and, like...
It seems like the kind
of weirdly sexual, because they're, like, making eyes at each other while they're doing it. It's like, this is a kid's movie.
I'm guessing, though, that they are gonna have like
sex.
They're so gonna bang like Roper's style banter like that between the two of them throughout the movie. If I were to get that, seems like what their relationship is.
Which makes sense. It's just that it made me deeply uncomfortable, especially because she's not that old. They just dyed her hair gray.
Well, then whatever you do, don't watch any of the other Eli Roth movies.
Was she like the oldest one in any of them?
No, not even that. But it's like, if you don't like this banter that they have back and forth, that this was like Green Inferno, he'd be eating her by the end of it.
Smallfoot. This is more of a preview than I've ever gotten for this movie before.
I've gotten trailers for this movie for the past year. I just want this movie to come out. Oh my god.
So is this the first time you've actually seen where he like actually goes down to the village and like captures a human and brings him back?
Well, this is the first time I've seen a trailer where it's the thing where he's putting him over the fire. But no, like I've been seeing trailers of this goddamn movie for so fucking long, and yeah, for the past several months, one of the trailers has been him in like the village. I mean, the movie I think looks fine. Yeah. I'm just ready for this fucking thing to come out already.
That was kind of a cute conceit that like to his ears human speak is just like
oh yeah. Half of that trailer was advertising the song because it put the song title and the musical artist on it.
Niall, like it's one of those boy band boys.
Yeah.
It was a fine song. It was a fine preview. Dumbo.
I think that looks amazing.
I'm gonna cry so hard in that movie.
I cried at the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that trailer. Dumbo is my favorite Disney animated movie. I'm super excited for this. Like, for one, like Tim Burton can direct the fuck out of a circus movie.
Yeah,
so
this is like right in his wheelhouse.
He's it's Tim Burton and Michael Keaton together again. You throw in Colin Farrell in there, and it looks gorgeous. Like it looks like something that could maybe be in the same continuity as The Greatest Showman.
Yeah,
kind of. It looks like a gorgeous film, and they'll really play with a lot of weird circus shit in the movie. And it looks like, yeah, you can see in the trailer where it's got certain elements that were from the first Dumbo movie, but it doesn't look like it's just doing that movie again. Like maybe certain,
like people find Dumbo.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it'll probably hit a lot of the same. It'll probably hit some of the same points, certainly, but it's not just carbon copying the other movie again. It looks like it does have a voice to it. Like there is some thought going on here besides just, oh, we're just making Dumbo again. And that's just the teaser. Like, yeah. I'm really excited for this movie.
Like, the people seem a lot nicer in this than they were in the original Dumbo. Because, like, I grew up watching Dumbo. That was
Same, yeah.
That was one of my favorites. That being said, there's room for improvement, and I'm hoping that one of the improvements is making the people not all douchebags.
Sure. I mean, again, like I said, I'm just glad that that whether it turns out good or not good, it at least looks like it's in the league of something like the Pete's Dragon remake, where they're taking the source material and giving their own voice to it. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. We watched Pinocchio again the other day, because that's one of my...
How'd that hold up?
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I've seen Pinocchio many, many times, but Laura hadn't seen it in a long time. Hell yeah, it holds up, because that movie is... Oh, man, that movie gets fucking scary. This is at a time where that movie straight up turns into a fucking horror movie, and those kids are still fucking donkeys by the end of that thing.
There's a level in Kingdom Hearts where you're inside Monstro, and I've played that level easily hundreds of times more than I've watched the movie Pinocchio.
Movie's great. Monstro is scary in that movie.
Monstro is like full of like monsters. You know, Pinocchio's like climbing through his guts.
Well, he's like hollowed out and everything since Geppetto and the boat are in him. But just looking at, like, he's a menacing figure in that. Like, just when he's angrily... He's got, like, the
big angry eyebrows.
Yeah, he is angrily swimming through there.
And just space for your gummy ship.
He's like a fucking megalodon. Like, he's just swallowing all these fish and shit, and they have to make him sneeze in order to get out. Yeah, and even the donkey transformation scene, like, that movie gets...
I remember that being terrifying.
It still is. It's terrifying, and it's great. That's just one of the best fucking movies.
That's back in the day when they weren't afraid to just scare the shit out of children.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to a kid.
Exactly. That movie goes hard at giving you some lessons, like, don't fucking talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Because fucking Honest John will sell you to the goddamn...
don't smoke cigars.
Yeah. Don't talk to strangers, go to school, listen to your parents.
Yeah. Don't tell lies. For the love of God, don't tell lies.
There are life lessons in that movie.
Mary Poppins. Now, I'm assured off Lin-Manuel Miranda's Twitter feed that he is executing a flawless Cockney accent of this.
Nice.
I don't know if that's true or if he was joshing, but I really hope it's true.
I hope it's a little bit of both. No, I'm really... That's the same trailer that we got, like, some months ago. It's still that teaser trailer, but no, I'm looking forward to that. I'll need to watch the first one again. It's been a while.
Oh, I thought I had another preview. This is Mary Poppins Returns. Yeah.
No, I'm excited for that. I gotta go see 8th Grade after this. David.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, that's supposed to be really fucking good.
I'm glad I'm not seeing it because I did not enjoy 8th Grade, and it's my understanding this movie captures it perfectly.
So I'll hate it. I'll come out and be like, oh, 8th Grade was fine for me. This movie sucks. What the hell are they complaining about? I don't relate to this movie. Garbage. Alright, well, we'll be better, or Gino and I will be here in about 11:30 our time, give or take. We'll be here. Alright, see you guys. Thanks for watching.